In the bustling city of Benin in the 1960s, Chief Ighodaro was born into a lineage of affluence. His father, a renowned trader and landowner, had built a vast empire of wealth that provided his family with everything they could ever desire. By the time Ighodaro inherited this wealth, he was poised to become one of the wealthiest men in Edo State. Known for his charm and flamboyant lifestyle, Ighodaro quickly earned a reputation for living large. However, Ighodaro lacked the discipline and foresight necessary to sustain such wealth. Rather than investing or expanding his father's empire, he spent lavishly on luxurious cars, mansions, and the company of numerous wives. He treated life as though the money would never run out, and his lifestyle became a symbol of opulence in Benin City. While many envied his riches, others whispered about the futility of his actions. Chief Ighodaro fathered many children from his various marriages. Among them was his third son, Shaka, who was unlike his siblings. While his brothers and sisters reveled in the life of luxury their father provided, Shaka observed the cracks forming in their seemingly unshakable wealth. Even as a child, he wondered why his father never invested in ventures that could ensure the family's prosperity for generations. The Ighodaro mansion stood tall, a testament to the family's wealth, but it lacked the substance that true legacy requires. Chief Ighodaro's children grew up surrounded by material abundance, but were never taught the value of hard work or prudent financial management. His older sons followed in his footsteps, believing that wealth was eternal and their future secure. Shaka, however, had a different mindset. He watched his father squander opportunities, and it pained him to see the potential for a lasting legacy fade. As a teenager, he began to question the sustainability of their lifestyle. Why, he wondered, did his father not own businesses, farmlands, or shares in thriving industries? Why was everything spent on transient pleasures? While his siblings wasted time and resources, Shaka turned to books. He found solace in learning and sought answers to the questions that plagued his mind. His observations led him to dream of a future where he would forge his own path, free from his father's shadow. It was during one of his reflective moments that Shaka made a life-changing decision. He would pursue an education, no matter what his father or siblings thought. For Shaka, education was the key to independence, a way to rewrite the story of their family's legacy. At that moment, a seed of ambition was planted, one that would grow into a tree of resilience and success. As Shaka grew older, the disparity between his mindset and that of his family became even clearer. His siblings were content to spend their days enjoying the wealth Chief Ighodaro provided. Expensive cars, lavish parties, and shopping sprees filled their lives. Education seemed irrelevant to them. Shaka, however, felt uneasy. His father's spending habits, once awe-inspiring, now seemed reckless and short-sighted. He often thought about how their lives would change if the money ever ran out. Determined not to follow the same path, he declared his intention to attend university. His father scoffed at the idea. "What is the point of schooling when you have money?" Ighodaro asked dismissively. His siblings laughed, teasing Shaka for his seriousness. But Shaka's resolve was unshaken. "I don't want to depend on wealth I didn't work for," he replied. "I'll create my own legacy." Shaka enrolled in a law program at the University of Benin, much to the surprise of his family. The rigorous coursework was challenging, but Shaka embraced it with passion. While his siblings partied and traveled, Shaka spent long nights in the library, poring over case studies and legal texts. University life introduced Shaka to a world far removed from the luxury of his father's mansion. Many of his classmates came from humble backgrounds, working part-time jobs to fund their education. Shaka admired their resilience and learned valuable lessons about perseverance and resourcefulness. While his siblings flaunted new cars and designer clothes, Shaka saved the allowance his father sent him. He began to understand the value of money and how to make it work for him. His education was not just about law, it was a lesson in discipline and long-term thinking. During his second year, Shaka met a professor who became a mentor. The professor often spoke about financial independence and generational wealth, concepts that resonated deeply with Shaka. He shared his concerns about his father's spending and sought advice on how to avoid making the same mistakes. "You're already ahead of the game," the professor said. "The fact that you're asking these questions shows you're thinking about the future. Focus on your education and build something that will last. These words became Shaka's guiding principle. He promised himself that his story would not mirror his father's. He would work hard, invest wisely, and ensure his children would inherit not just wealth, but the wisdom to sustain it. Shaka's dedication to his studies paid off when he graduated with a second-class upper degree in law. His family, though indifferent during his academic journey, was forced to acknowledge his achievement. Chief Ighodaro attended the convocation ceremony, dressed in his usual extravagant attire, but it was Shaka who shone that day. As the certificates were handed out, Shaka felt an immense sense of pride and accomplishment. He had defied the expectations of his family, choosing discipline and hard work over complacency. For him, the degree symbolized more than just academic success. It was a ticket to a future of independence and purpose. At the family celebration afterward, Chief Ighodaro gave a brief speech. "Shaka, you've done well," he said, raising his glass of champagne. "But remember, money is what makes the world go round." His words were laced with a hint of sarcasm, but Shaka chose to remain silent. He knew his father's understanding of wealth was fundamentally flawed. Shaka's mind was already racing with plans. While his siblings flaunted their designer outfits and flashy cars at the party, Shaka was thinking about the next step. His dream of becoming a Chief Justice was within reach, but he also wanted to start building a financial foundation for his future. Shaka's entry into the workforce was humbling. He joined a reputable law firm in Benin City as a junior associate, earning a modest salary compared to the lavish lifestyle he grew up with. Unlike his siblings, who were still living off their father's wealth, Shaka was determined to make his own way. The transition wasn't easy. Long hours at work, demanding cases, and the challenge of navigating office politics tested Shaka's resilience. Yet he embraced these challenges as necessary steps toward his goal. He quickly earned a reputation for his meticulous work ethic and integrity. With his first paycheck, Shaka made a bold decision. Instead of indulging in luxury, he began investing. He bought a small piece of land on the outskirts of Benin City, a move that baffled his siblings. "Why not buy a car instead?" his older brother asked. Shaka's response was simple. "A car loses value over time, land appreciates." Shaka's lifestyle was a stark contrast to the extravagance of his family. While they spent evenings at high-end clubs, Shaka spent his nights researching investments and studying the stock market. He was determined to rewrite his family's narrative of wealth, one wise decision at a time. Shaka's passion for financial independence grew stronger as he balanced his career in law with his budding investments. He spent weekends scouting properties, researching business opportunities, and learning from successful entrepreneurs. His goal was clear: to build a legacy that would outlive him. One evening, while reviewing his investment portfolio, Shaka stumbled upon an opportunity to invest in a small but promising cocoa farm. He recalled the tales of his father's lavish spending on parties and multiple wives, and he resolved to make a different choice. The farm would not only provide income, but also create jobs for local farmers. His decision baffled his siblings, who still relied heavily on Chief Ighodaro's dwindling wealth. "Why waste money on farming?" his younger sister scoffed. "Just buy shares in a big company." But Shaka understood the value of diversifying his investments. As the months passed, the cocoa farm flourished. Shaka hired local experts to manage operations, ensuring that the farm ran efficiently. The returns from this venture became his first major financial breakthrough, setting the stage for more ambitious projects. Chief Ighodaro's once grand empire was now showing cracks. His extravagant lifestyle had drained his resources, and creditors began knocking on his door. The once proud patriarch of the Ighodaro family was now faced with the reality of financial ruin. Shaka watched from a distance, saddened but unsurprised. His father's refusal to invest wisely or curb his spending had finally caught up with him. Shaka's siblings, who had grown accustomed to a life of luxury, were now scrambling for solutions. Some turned to Shaka for help, but he was cautious about how much assistance to provide. "I can help you," Shaka told his older brother, "but you have to understand that money doesn't grow on trees. You need to start thinking long-term." His brother nodded, but Shaka could tell the lesson would take time to sink in. Chief Ighodaro, however, was too proud to ask for help. He continued to host lavish parties and maintain appearances, even as his assets were sold off one by one. Shaka felt a mix of pity and frustration. He wished his father had chosen a wiser path, but he was determined to use this downfall as motivation to build his own empire. As his family grappled with their new reality, Shaka's career reached new heights. He was promoted to a senior position at the law firm, earning the respect of his peers and clients. His reputation as a fair and principled lawyer began to spread, and he started taking on high-profile cases. With his increased income, Shaka expanded his investments. He bought more land, ventured into real estate, and even funded a small tech startup. Each decision was carefully calculated, guided by his vision of financial stability and generational wealth. One day, Shaka's father approached him privately. "Shaka," Chief Ighodaro said,